Mistake number one is not creating enough civilian ships, especially science ships, because science ships are going to allow you to scout this area. Right now, we're about beginning of mid-game, so we can see quite a bit of the map, but that wouldn't have been possible unless we had a good amount of science ships exploring the nearby areas to see what are good chokeholds, what alien empires are around us, what resources we can grab if we need to, as well as archaeological sites, anomalies, even super or mega structures as well. So you really want to have at least 2 to 3 science ships at the beginning. But keep in mind that science ships do use and cost unity. It has a flat cost at the beginning as well as a monthly cost. So this will impact your ability to get different traditions. So there is a fine balance between the two, which is why I say, 2 to 3 at the beginning is good. 4 is probably where you want to be around mid-game, because you really want to be pushing your traditions. But another thing is to avoid building military super early. Trust me when I say this, you're not going to be attacked unless you're playing with some sort of mod or a very high difficulty. You're not going to be attacked, especially for easy level game. You can honestly get away with just placing some star bases around your beginning area and hold choke points, and you will not be bothered whatsoever. I guarantee it. You could build a small fleet to handle anything that comes up, like pirates, or say if there's something that's blocking our way, which is exactly why we built this small fleet, is that there was something over here that was blocking our way. But again, you don't need to focus on military early game. You probably won't even need to worry about military at least until 2,250 at least. And if you're not scouting the nearby areas, you won't know all these good places that you can grab, for these nice resources and being able to posture up and go wide with your expansion. Now, if you're building tall, that's a different story. Mistake number 2, poor starbase placement and going over the capacity as well. As you can see right here, there is a starbase capacity, and if you go above that, then you have negative modifiers that are put on your empire, which you absolutely want to avoid. So you want to be at or below the starbase capacity. Make sure that you put your starbases in spots that you absolutely need them. Specifically choke points, like say this is a good choke point here because this blocks off anyone trying to approach from this left side. There's no other way aside from here that you can approach from left. Now you could say, well, isn't this a choke point and isn't this a choke point? Technically from the left side it is, but it's not a choke point from here or approaching from here. The benefit of this one is that you take on 3 paths of travel, whereas this would only have 2. This is a good choke point, but this one's even better because if you put a starbase here, you essentially block off this area for yourself. So you could take all these good things right here. But something to keep in mind that there is actually a planet here. So this would also be actually a good place for starbase placement just because of the planet, because you can actually put buildings on your starbase. We don't have them unlocked right now, but there are some buildings that you could place that will benefit the planet. So to kind of review this, you want to place them in good strategic choke points, ideally farther out so you can claim more territory. Like this is good, but this would be even better because then I can, in a sense, claim all these along the way and then build a stronger border right here. Thus, if anyone were to attack me from say here or here, I would have time to build up my forces as they have to take over these systems and travel this way before they get to my main area. And if you can find a spot where it's also a choke point and a planet, that's really ideal because that accomplishes 2 things in one. One, it's a choke point, and 2, it's a planet that could benefit from a starbase and its building. The last mistake that I see new players doing is automating research by clicking this. In my opinion, this is a trap because you need to understand what you're clicking and why you're clicking. You want to be able to understand what you're doing, why you're doing it. Why is it a good selection? What do you gain from this research? If you are having the game decide what research to select for you, it's not going to be choosing the most optimal path for you. And for you as a new player, you need to understand what research is best for your build. Specifically what you're trying to accomplish. Are you trying to go military heavy? Are you trying to go economy heavy? Are you trying to go diplomatic heavy? It just depends. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. As a new player, I highly recommend that you understand exactly what you're clicking and why you're clicking and to follow that path. So that way later on, when you are becoming an intermediate player, you already know what research does what, and you know exactly, hey, I'm going to choose this one out of the selections that I have. I know this one's the best for my, or where I'm at, whereas you're not depending on the game to just do it. You want to have a better understanding of the game. Late game, when technology becomes repeatable, at that point, go ahead and just do the auto research. But that's only once you've accomplished pretty much all the research in the game and it just becomes repeatable at that point. That's the only time I would say that it's okay to do auto research. Well, that's all the mistakes that I have that you should be avoiding as a new player. What did you think? Do you have any mistakes that you think that someone else should be avoiding? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. And if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. It would greatly help the channel and I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you next time and have a good one.